Today we're going to be making American Deli's Philly cheesesteak wings and fries from scratch. It's not going to be the same exact recipe, of course, because I don't know their recipe, but the concept is the same. A Philly cheesesteak, some wings, and some fries. So I have my provolone cheese that is going on top of my Philly. I bought one of these, which is the ribeye finely sliced. You can find this at Food Lion, Walmart. I couldn't find this at Compared Foods because I don't think this will be enough for me and my boyfriend. So I went ahead and bought actual ribeyes, which I will be cutting and, you know, thinning out to make it just like that. So this is for extra. I have my chicken wings. You can also find these at Food Lion, Walmart, honestly almost any grocery store. I have my hoagie rolls. I suggest hoagie rolls because they're larger. I was about to buy hot dog buns for it, but I was like, no, I want a real Philly, so hoagie rolls. I have my green and red pepper. I like green and red peppers and onions inside of my Philly. So I also have these. Butter for cooking the onions and stuff first to keep it from sticking and keep them moist. And also for my hot sauce when I make my wings. And last but not least, we have our fries. Best fries ever just because they're crinkle cut. So let's go ahead and get started. Now I'm going to cut my peppers and onions up, put them in my pan, and go ahead and slowly cook them and saute them before I cook the actual beef, just because I feel like it'll cook quicker than the peppers and onions. So let's get started on that. Okay, so we have our peppers and onions all cut up. I'm going to put it on about a 2, just to slow simmer it. And I am going to season it with salt and pepper. And I'm going to put the lid on. Alright, so my peppers and onions are pretty much done. I'm just letting them sit a little longer. And I've already basically cut up my meat. The 2 pieces of steak I did have. And I try to make it as thin as this part, because this part was already thin and cut up. So I try to make it as thin as that part. But I think they did that. I think they did this with a machine, so of course it's not gonna be like, I didn't get to cut it up like that, because of course, I mean, I tried. But either way, I'm just gonna stir this up so it's like even, and I'm going to season it with a little bit of Worcestershire sauce, a little bit of Sazon, a little bit of adobo, and some black pepper. Just a little bit. I'm probably going to use more Sazon than anything. A little bit of the adobo. And pepper. And I'm going to, with clean hands, stir it up with my hands. I'm gonna go ahead and pull apart some of this. Yeah, they had to shred this up with a machine or something, because my pieces are too thick compared to this. And I actually tried to like fillet it and all that good stuff. See, my pieces can't compare at all. They actually like big compared to the pieces they have. But you get the gist. Okay, so I've seasoned my chicken and I've already thrown it in the oil, which is cooking now. And I use Sazon, which is why they're a little orange, but that's just because they're still cooking. Like I said, I'm just waiting, you know, to keep everything even. I have my fries in the oven already. So yeah. Now, since I'm waiting on my chicken, I already cooked my peppers and onions. I'm cooking the Philly cheesesteaks last, as they're quicker than everything else. And I have in this pot melted butter, and I'm going to pour hot sauce. You can use any hot sauce you want, but I'm using Texas Pete original. So now I have my hot sauce, and you're just going to give it a stir. You want to add as you go. Until your butter is completely melted and you have your hot sauce. Alright, so once your chicken wings are, you know, as crispy as you want them, and your sauce is pretty much ready, you're gonna go ahead and drop your wings in. I would say drop maybe 2 at a time, depending on how big it is, depending on how big your pot is. And you want to just shake them around just so your sauce can get in everything. And repeat the process until you're finished with your wings. And you're going to sit them inside a container or plate or whatever you want to sit your wings on to let them, you know, soak in all that hot sauce. So now I have my wings sitting over here, and I'm going to probably put them in the refrigerator. I know that sounds crazy, but none of the rest of my food isn't done yet, and I need these to stay marinating and whatnot. So yeah. And I'm cooking. Sorry, had Vampire Diaries playing in the background. I'm about to cook my Philly cheesesteak. Sorry, that's my dryer. And I've already got my hoagie roll ready for my Philly. And I'm about to add peppers and onions while it's cooking and add it to my bun. Okay, so I'm using my last one to show you exactly how I made it. I would rather use a actual spatula that's made out of something like this, but and I'm using a cape thing. You gotta improvise, okay? So you put the meat down and you want to chop it up as it's cooking. Chop it up, separate it, whatever the case may be, whatever you want to call it. And just keep flipping and turning it. And once it's getting a little brown, you want to go ahead and set your bun out. Go ahead and open your bun. And set it to the side. Flip and chop. Well, flip and separate. So once it gets a little, I'm not going to say burnt, but a little well done, you want to go ahead and add your onions and peppers. Now you're going to stir again. Now this is a little bit of the hard part, only because, like I said, I'm not using the right tools. Now you're going to take 3 pieces of provolone and lay it on top. I'm gonna let that sit a minute. Don't have to sit that long, just about, 1 minute. The reason I say it's the hard part is because you have to pick it up and sit it on the bun. So I just go from both sides. You're gonna lose a piece, of course, but no worries. And go ahead and slide it onto the bun. I should have let you guys see that part. Oh well. Let me turn it a little bit. Okay, so just gonna pick up that cheese, put it back on there, and then I'm just gonna scrape that together. And we can just sit that on top. All right, now we can turn the stove off, move that out the way. Now, since we're finished cooking, we're going to go ahead and, put everything together. Go ahead and clean off the plate edges. And boom, you have American Deli plate at home. Thanks for watching.